YouTube, I think the last battle I showed you was with Dawi, and I actually kind of wanted to play him because I haven't played him since the patch, so all the old like pre-saved armies I had are broken because they changed the price of a bunch of stuff, so obviously I just threw together something new. I've got a couple miners with blasting charges to hopefully hurt the vampires up front. I've got Ungrim, a Thane, a Runesmith. I've got 4 Longbeards without great weapons, just Longbeards, so yeah, I know these guys aren't good against armor, but they're very survivable and they're immune to terror. I've got 2 Thunderers and 4 Slayers. The 4 Slayers are just meant to make it extremely infuriating for my opponent to use zombies, because Slayers will hack through zombies, bats, all that kind of light armor stuff that they use to try and keep the Thunderers busy. Really, the only danger to my Thunderers here would be is if they could get some heavy units like some kind of, I was hoping he didn't just bring Vargulf spam. My opponent's going to approach. He's bringing in the Fellbats first. He's obviously probably wanting to meat shield. His army, he's got some Graveguard and some Sternsmen, Skeletons, Cryptors. He's got the Mortis Engine here, and his Lord is Helmund Gorst. He can summon Graveguard. So he's brought a pretty infantry-heavy army. He has a couple of Graveguard with great weapon, as well as a Sternsman, so he's definitely got some infantry capability. This is a smart move on his behalf to actually use the miners, or block the miners. I mean, my guys can't really shoot the bats because, well, I don't know why. It seems like they should be able to shoot more. I decided to try and pull my miners back and go ahead and let my Longbeards be up front, because I don't want my miners to just die real easy up front since they're a little bit squishier. I bring some Slayers up to help. And then over here, he brings a White King in on the flank, because he had one on either flank, and he's just way too early with bringing this, or sorry, it's a Necromancer, my bad. Yeah, he brings this Necromancer in on the flank. It was way too early, and he got wrecked by Slayers. Over here is a White King. So he comes in, he hasn't yet disrupted my guns, and my guns are going to start shooting his Mortis Engine first, because it's the biggest threat. And the Mortis Engine should have kept its distance, so my opponent got very overconfident or overzealous here. One of the two, or just mismicroed. My army is made to help me with the fact that I'm probably going to mismicro, so my army doesn't take a lot of management. It's kind of stand and hold and not get terrorized, while my Slayers react to all of his actions. You see here, Mortis Engine gets shot out. He's going to summon a Graveguard right here. And he is causing a lot of damage with the combination of Graveguard and Cryptors, but again, I brought Longbeards because you don't break Longbeards in a hurry. They're immune to terror. It's very difficult to break Longbeards in a hurry, and then this basically lets my front line hold, while my Slayers get to work on some targets they're good against. Like Cryptors definitely don't want to fight Slayers. These Slayers over here are going to intercept, and then I just keep falling back with my guns and shooting at the large targets, keeping whatever Slayers in reserve. You can see these guys already got their fill of zombies. So yeah, just got to fall back with the guns. That's all there is to it. Fall back and shoot. You can see I'm targeting Cryptors now because they stick up above the line. There's actually a few mining charges there. That was pretty gruesome. Yeah, my mining charges didn't get used real well, but you can see I just kind of holding units back, and then when I see stuff like this where he's pulling through with the Graveguard, I'm going to go get in his way and just continue to fall back. If I fall back with the guns, if he can't kill my guns, he's going to lose. That's all there is to it. And early on, that Mortis Engine, part of the reason it got stuck, it wasn't just a mismicro on his part. I used the Tormentor Sword on my Thane. I have a Thane in here, and I've got a Runesmith. So here's my Thane. He was over there near the Mortis Engine, so my opponent made a big mistake getting that Mortis Engine anywhere near my Thane. And like I said, just look how long the Longbeards, I get it, how long they're holding. Yeah, Longbeard's not going to do good against this infantry. Not these kind of Longbeards, at least. But it's the fact that they can't get routed easily, and it's just going to wear the vampires down. He had the extra Necromancer, and he can use it for healing and zombies and all that kind of stuff, but he threw it in way too early here, so big mistake getting in on that flank. He's pulling Graveguard with great weapon, but these guys are slow. They can't real effectively catch my units. I mean, he can keep charging through, but I'm just going to pull away and keep shooting him, and then I'll just chase him down with Slayers. Slayers don't normally do good against Graveguard with great weapon, but if he's pulling away, my Slayers will do just fine. They'll get a lot of kills on these things. So again, just going to pull the guns back, and while I'm pulling back with one, I'll shoot from the other side, and if he chases the other side, we'll just keep pushing the Slayers. So again, he's pushing my guns back, but he's not killing them. He doesn't really have anything here to kill them, and in the front line, the war of attrition here with mostly Longbeards is really wearing the vampires out. And then my Lords just aren't dying either. I think I may have lost my Runesmith to some significant attacks, but Still have the Thane. The Thane is imparting buffs to nearby units as well. I think leadership and melee attack. And then Ungrim is he can't be routed, so that's part of the reason I brought Ungrim. He's anti-large and he can't be routed. So here where he gets caught up amongst all these Cryptors, he'll actually do a little more damage there. So I brought Ungrim for a reason. So again, my army was meant to be low micro, let my opponent charge in and try and kill my Longbeards while I just micro a few units in the back, because I'm out of practice right now and I just do not have the micromanagement I need to do a more aggressive army. So yeah, you can see here we can take out those Grave Guard. My other guns get free over here, and I'm going to give them a target, the Cryptors. So we're going to shoot in, finish off Cryptors. So Thunderers are extremely devastating in the late game. If they survive to the late game, and you're on the receiving end of them, you're in bad shape. Thunderers cause a tremendous amount of damage. So again, you can see there the War of Attrition, even though he wins it, it's just not a good one for him. My Longbeards in the end up, you know, getting some kills. Yeah, look at this, 41 kills on the miners. Must have been zombies or something. I don't know what else they could kill. The White King here gets slowed down, and then he's just going to get mowed down. So as soon as these guys start shooting him, he takes off thinking, yeah, that's not really the fight that I wanted. But there's no saving Gorst at this point either. He's slow. All he can do is sit here and try and help his troops. So Gorst will try, but I don't really think there's any saving. He's giving leadership right now. They need that. Now that my Slayers don't have to protect my guns, they can fall into the fight and help out in the late game, and let's just watch it here, watch it unfold. This game does look absolutely beautiful. Look at that Slayer there, his head got shut off. Did his death blow thing. That was awesome. Yeah, anyway, I need to go study up all the changes on the dwarves and kind of get a better feel for how it does things. Maybe this weekend I'll have enough time to do some unit testing. So, yeah, there you go. Gorst is now going to get shot up, so it's just a matter of time now before the vampires drop. Still got the Thane, still got Ungrim. You can see Ungrim's big old mohawk and then the Thane's wings back there. The rest of the vampires crumble. And Pyrrhic victory for the Dawi, for me this time. Again, the infantry here was never meant to be my killing power. It's just going to hold. These guys were just there to disrupt the front. They didn't end up doing it because he did a nice job. Like I said, blocking these guys up with the bats definitely saved his infantry some significant damage on the charge. So I think that was probably not a bad plan. 4 Slayers, though, he didn't really have a good answer to that. So having the 4 Slayers there, anything in his army here, I mean, so anything low army just gets, or low armor gets chewed apart. And his Mortis engine definitely could have dealt with my infantry over time, but not with these around. He should have kept this thing back at a very safe distance until he had saved his, or gotten rid of my Thunderers or held them back far enough to bring this in, because this was a key unit in his build here. He absolutely needed it. So I didn't have to focus on Helm and Gorst first. Get rid of the Mortis engine. It was more of a threat. And Gorst, it says, got a ton of kills in the end. It may have been because of spells or other stuff like that, or summon units. I don't know. Whatever it is that he got all the kills, whatever. Didn't matter in the end. Graves, or the Stearnsman, again, guys performed very well. I do notice that Graveguard with Great Weapon, he was chasing Thunderers, but it does seem like these guys tend to underperform sometimes versus the Dwarves. But anyway, I got another replay for you. Let's go check that one out. This one's going to be Tomb Kings versus Greenskins. I assume that, I mean, Greenskins, one of their strengths is definitely infantry, and I was kind of hoping my opponent would bring a mostly infantry build, and he obliged me with that here, because my build is heavy anti-infantry. If my opponent had brought more large, I would have been in trouble, because I did bring anti-large, just not a ton of it. My anti-large is these Necropolis Knights with Halberd. Decent units for anti-large. My front line is skeletons, because I just want them to die and trigger the healing for all my constructs. I have 4 Ushabti, 2 Tomb Scorpions. The Tomb Scorpion's goal is to punch through the main line and get to archers. The Ushabti is there to, along with the skeletons, or the skeletons are there to die and help me re-die, I guess, and help me heal. The Ushabti are there for the killing. Arkhan is my lord, so I've got Arkhan the Black. He was somewhere right here in the center. There he is. And I've got Fate of Buna and, what do you call it, Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech. I'm going to start off by Spirit Leeching Grimgore. There's some Black Orcs right here in the center as well. So got the Black Orcs in the center and Grimgore Ironhide. My Ushabti come in, The Shabti are going to do really well against most of this greenskin infantry because the greenskin infantry is really not made for anti-armor. Over here where it's just skeletons, definitely not a good engagement for me. I kept my Necropolis Knights close to Arkhan. And you can see my Scorpions already punched through and are starting to tie down archers. And like I said, here the Ashabti need to do the work. He's actually done some good damage to me in return with these big guns. They're doing surprisingly well considering that I have solid armor as the Ashabti. I was hoping the skeletons would tank a little more of that. Here comes the breath spell. Not going to do a whole lot. Should be safe. Necropolis Knight's going to chew up those wolves, but then I see the boar boys coming, so we're going to have to move to intercept them. On this flank, I saw this flank is vulnerable. I turned my Scorpion around, hit him with a Doom and Darkness, and I'm going to try and terrorize out this entire flank. And then over here, his boars charge in, but I intercept with the Necropolis Knights, and I'm able to minimize the damage there. And then this flank, the Doom and Darkness, combined with the Tomb Scorpion, did the trick. So I punched through on his left, or at least mostly punched through. There's a few units that survived. And now my opponent's flank over there is in disarray, whereas this one's still holding between the Ashabti and the skeletons. And then if you look at this, Grimgor got tied up for a long time with the Ashabti. He's not having an easy time killing them, and I bring Arkhan in as well. And a lot of times I always hear people saying, well, I don't understand why people don't pick Grimgor more often. This is why. He's just not that great. I mean, at least it doesn't seem like it to me. Look at him here, getting wrecked by a combination of Arkhan and Ushabti. I'm going to use the special ability from Arkhan. I should have used this earlier, which gives my guys physical resistance, the Liber Mortis. So it's going to make this flank here last for a long time. So basically it's giving me time to keep wrapping up over here. His archers, he totally mismicroed here. So huge mistakes with his archers. They are not firing into the fight, and they really need to be. Gonna get a flank charge here with the Necropolis Knights, try and take these Orc boys out of the fight. There are some savage Orc big guns here though, so really not the best place for me to be charging it with that cavalry. Grimgor is getting owned, and I've only used Spirit Leech once. So far, at least. And then that third level of healing kicks in, and I saw his archers here mismicroed, so summon the new Shabti right on top of them. So we'll finish those guys off, and then I got the healing from that third tier as well, which is definitely helping to keep my monsters and constructs very healthy because there's not many unit models, so that healing goes a long way. Necropolis Knights beat back some regrouped boar boys, and then I'm going to go ahead and get some of them out of this fight with the Savage Orc Biggins. At this point, my opponent doesn't have a prayer, really. Grimgor is getting knocked around, and Arkhan was trying to take him out, but it looks like a new Shabti is going to go for the kill shot on Grimgor here. Who's going to get him? Grimgor. Yeah, not a good fight for Grimgor. He did not do well. He's still alive, though, somehow. There he goes. I think that's the... no, he's still getting up. He wants some more. Maybe Arkhan can finish it. Finish him, Arkhan. There we go. Really? Dude. Grimgor never died. That's right, folks. There you go. See? Grimgor never dies. He's the best. Now, my Tomb Scorpions did great. They're a pretty handy unit. In this case, though, my opponent, he made some lapses, I think, in the way he controlled some of the units. His archers could have done a lot more damage over time against my Shabti. And remember that two of his archers, or one of his archers was a Goblin Archer, which means it does poison, which could be really helpful in slowing down the damage done by the Ashabti, because I do believe it hurts their weapon damage. You can see the Necropolis Knights ended up doing well. This one did real well. Tomb Scorpions did everything I needed them to. A couple of the Ashabti struggled. This one too, but I mean, this one just owned. And then Arkhan did fine with his spells, supporting, using his magic. I think Arkhan is actually going to end up being one of the better lords for the Tomb King, just because Lore of Death is a solid magic. It can do a lot of things. And, you know, there's different ways you can support him properly with the different units. So, anyway, just my thoughts, but... appreciate the games from my opponents. Hope you all enjoyed these. I need a lot of practice. I feel out of practice because I've spent so much time playing campaign pre-release for Tomb Kings, and then after release, like, I play campaign and it's a lot of fun, but it totally gets me out of practice on online battles. Hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you soon.